don't want to speak here anymore.
Raul Gupta is trapped in a police interrogation room.
See my lawyer, like this.
And I explained to you that we don't keep lawyers here at the police station?
But you can't just keep me here then.
I can keep you here? Yes, I can, in the holding cell.
When do I get to go? Like, when do I get to sleep in a bed or take a or eat?
And here he is, he's being told by detectives that your friend from childhood is dead. Mr. Gupta expresses no sadness at all. His response is he's tired, he's hungry, he wants to go home, he wants to take a shower.
Perhaps Raul was expecting the Ritz, but there's no room service here in the stark steel and concrete confines of the Montgomery County Police Department.
It's possible that you did it if you don't remember. I mean, you've said, you know for a fact that you didn't do it, but you really don't know for a fact that you didn't if you don't remember what happened.
I know for a fact I didn't do it.
Raul Gupta and his girlfriend, Taylor Gold, were the only other people in their postage stamp-sized apartment when Mark Wall was hacked to death with a kitchen knife.
Mark was stabbed 11 times. He died a very violent death, and he didn't die right away.
He did die a very violent death, yes.
Raul's live-in girlfriend, Taylor, insists her alcohol-saturated memory has failed her.
She didn't really definitively say she didn't do it.
Did you stab Mark or no?
I don't think, I wouldn't do that. Why would I attack someone?
She in fact said that she didn't know what had happened, that she was blacking out during the incident. And she even said that she didn't want Gupta to be accused if she had done it or if there was evidence that she had done it.
Taylor's booze-induced memory loss was her boyfriend's gain. Raul seized the opportunity to weave a story rich with veiled accusations. His girlfriend, the intended target.
I didn't stab anyone, but as soon as I found out that Mark had been sort of punctured here, I tried to stop the bleeding. I tried to give him CPR. I kept telling Tay to call the police, and she sort of, I don't want to say hesitated, but just sort of looked at us.
He is explaining, he is minimizing, he is shifting blame, and he is very intelligent. So I wasn't surprised that he made that decision.
Then Raul becomes even bolder with his version of events.
I'm going to be honest with you. Something happened between Tay and Mark, and then Mark was bleeding out, so I came to his sort of medical attention. I tried to stop the bleeding.
It appears Taylor is being thrown under the proverbial bus.
When we all three of us got back to the apartment, it was clear that something was going on.
Okay. Did it be clear because did you see them kissing or touching?
No, they just
the way they acted?
Yeah, the body language, and I sort of just looked the other way. I sat down and started doing my own thing. And at some point, Mark sustained the injury.
Then Raul goes in for the kill. Listen closely.
If you didn't stab him, then who did? Okay?
Yeah.
It was a stunning accusation. Raul Gupta ratting out his own girlfriend, putting the knife in her hand.
He says he didn't do anything to him, therefore you must have done it.
Oh my God.
Raul says that he felt like something was going on with you guys.
What?
You screamed, you started screaming, and that he turned around and that Mark was on the ground bleeding. I mean, what reason would you have to hurt Mark? You didn't wake up to him trying to you.
I don't remember anything.
What are cops to do? They've got Taylor's blank memory, Raul's adamant denials. They're both in an alcohol fog, and there's no proof that either are lying. Blood and hair evidence is useless because both Taylor and Raul live in the apartment.
I think the most interesting part about this case is that there was no significant material evidence that pointed to either Taylor or Raul being the killer.
Investigators comb through every detail of the case and become intrigued by one of the 11 stab wounds.
This was a stab wound from the back that went 7 inches into the body of Mr. Wah. It actually chipped a bone as it entered his body.
It was strike one for Raul.
Miss Gold, at 5 foot, 100 pounds, was physically incapable of having been the person delivering that blow.
Then, a critical revelation. Investigators believed Gupta had the psychological wiring that could lead to murder.
I know an ex-girlfriend that said that he became a different person when he was drinking. And I know that that girlfriend had roommates who wouldn't allow him to their shared house any longer because they didn't feel safe.
A motive for Mark's murder now seemed easy for cops to nail.
What do you think the motive was?
Jealousy. Jealousy. Yeah, jealousy.
Then came a bombshell and a recorded jailhouse conversation between Raul and his father.
What happened? Mark and I got into a fight and he tried to get a knife and then I grabbed the knife.
The phone call is a golden nugget for police and prosecutors. Raul admits to a fight with Mark and he appears to say he got the knife.
I grabbed the knife.
Then the Fort Knox of motive in the form of a telling accusation.
I found out that Taylor and Mark may have been going out or something behind my back.
Raul Gupta is charged with murder, and during the trial, not open to cameras, he continues with his fantasy explanations.
The story that he gave was so unbelievable. I mean, it was just absolutely incredible that he had bumped his head, he had fallen down, and that somehow during the time that he was laying on the floor, an unprompted murder was committed by his inebriated girlfriend.
While Raul continues to blame Taylor, she testifies for 2 days and does not back down from her claims of memory impairment. But Taylor never blames Raul. Then the jury hears what is potentially a nail in the coffin for Raul. According to court documents, Raul told cops when they arrived at the scene of the murder, quote, "I walked in on them cheating and I killed my buddy."
And I think that that was probably the most honest statement that he made that entire night.
But Raul quickly recanted his confession after sobering up, claiming he was only trying to take the fall for his girlfriend.
The wheels in his head are turning, and he's coming up with a way to try and get out from under the criminal liability that he knows is coming.
But even the handsome young intellect couldn't outsmart the jury. It took less than 5 hours to convict Raul Gupta of first-degree murder, the man with the gold-plated future.
He was on his way to being a superstar in life. He was a brilliant, bright kid.
Is now a falling star.
What is his sentence?
He received life.
What motivated this killing was his own petty jealousies about his own inadequacies and the fact that she was looking possibly for someone else to satisfy her sexually.
Raul's defense argues the jury's decision is unwarranted.
Do you believe Taylor is the person who killed Mark?
I don't know. I believe that the evidence in the apartment about her behavior that night should have made the jury find, regardless of what they found her involvement to be. There were just too many questions about what Raul's involvement was, and he should have been found not guilty.
Raul Gupta has exhausted all state appeals. His life sentence stands. Taylor has never been charged. Crime Watch Daily tracked down the woman at the center of a tragic murder, hoping to hear her story in her own words.
Taylor, could you talk to us for just a moment? I'm Michelle Sagona from Crime Watch Daily. We were doing a story on the Gupta case and wanted to hear your side.
But the secret will remain locked up forever, just like the man Taylor once loved.
Taylor? Taylor?
The fact that she wasn't charged with anything doesn't mean that I personally don't believe that she has some culpability in what happened. I just believe that her culpability doesn't rise to a level of a criminal nature, but I think it is a hard memory for her to live with for the rest of her life.
The problem in this case is you have 2 suspects, 1 victim, in the suspect's apartment. Their DNA, their clothing is already going to be all over the apartment regardless, and then you have 2 people that know what happened, no other witnesses. So it's going to be he said, she said, who do you believe?